And see, here's the problem with Mr. Research C.A. Letre. Okay? It's the fact that, he talks a lot of politics, but he's not, he only, when it comes to black folks, he only wants to talk about the worker. Okay? He never talks about the business owner. He just talks about the worker. And he talks about, he has this monolithic mindset. And y'all know I don't have that mindset. I don't believe in that. Because I don't even think it's feasible in this day and age. Okay? This monolithic mindset is something that people like C.A. Letre have come up with in their heads to justify certain things that have happened to them in their life, but it really doesn't. When you actually look at the facts, it really doesn't pan out. When it comes to immigrants, okay, the reason immigrants appear to be monolithic is because of geography. Okay, it has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with culture. It really has to do with geography. When immigrants come to America, okay, oftentimes what happens is America will let a small amount of them come over at first. And then once that small amount becomes established, then they bring over, their relatives and other successive waves of people later. Those successive waves, they tend to all settle in the same area that the first group settled in, because the first group now has like a base or a foundation for them to at least go on. Okay? So, when you're a new immigrant, you don't know the language of America, you don't know the culture of America, you don't know where to go to get a job. You have to go to your own people to get a job. And usually your own people are all clustered in that initial geographic area. So an example of this would be, New York City for Puerto Ricans, or, Minneapolis, St. Paul for, for Somalians. What happens is, or you could say like Central California, Bakersfield, Fresno for Indians, stuff like that. So what happens is they clump up geographically, okay, so they can have a support structure with each other. Now, if you're an American in the middle of that geographic zone, it looks like, oh my God, these immigrants, they're so monolithic, they're so, they got it all figured out, they're so family oriented. Look at them, they're all working together. And in reality, what it is they're all in one geographic location. Another good example of that would be Cubans in Miami. Cubans own a lot of real estate and stuff in Miami, okay? But they don't own much once you get outside of Miami. Miami is the only place where Cubans own a whole bunch of the real estate and a lot of the land. You go to Miami, Cubans run fucking Miami. You would think Cubans are the most prosperous group in America if you go to Miami. But the only reason it appears that way is because they're all geographically concentrated in that one area. Okay? So, too, just a regular American who goes through there, it looks like, oh my God, they're so organized. Look at them. They got it all figured out. They're so working together, but it's only an illusion because they're all in one geographic area. Okay, as generations go on, they'll move further and further out. They'll start marrying other groups of people, intermingling with other groups of people. The children will start going to school in other regions of the country, and they'll develop other ideologies and stuff. And then they will become what's called assimilated into the larger American culture. That's what happens. Okay, so African Americans don't have the luxury to basically recreate that because we're geographically dispersed. Okay, now mind you, black Americans are starting to move more and more and concentrate more and more in the South. So maybe in the future, going forward, maybe African Americans hopefully they can reestablish more of their own community stuff like that in the South. But you need to understand it requires geographic centralization. Okay, you can't expect a bunch of black folks working in a warehouse, okay, in California somewhere, in fucking French Camp or fucking Sacramento, or, I know that Northern Cali area. I'm a trucker. I go through there all the damn time on I-80. Okay, and so I'm aware of that area, but it makes no sense for black folks in that area to talk about, hey, we're going to all band together on this one job and take over this warehouse. It doesn't make sense. Okay, right to work laws, they will fire you the fuck up out of there before you can blink your eye. Okay? All right? So you're not going to be monolithic on these jobs. What you have to do is you got to realize, okay, maybe I can buy the warehouse. Maybe we can put money together, form an LLC to buy this warehouse. Maybe we can just get the warehouse and just lease it out to other companies and stuff who need this warehouse. You have to think like that. Okay? That's how you think to move forward in the 21st century. You know what I mean? But that's what I got to say on it. Let me know what y'all think. Get the likes up.